Okay, right. And this one we're going to look at fractions, but this time doing the main operation. So adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. Okay, so the first two questions on here are all to do with addition of and subtraction of fractions. So the rule for addition and subtracting of fractions is exactly the same thing, where you need to have common denominators. Okay, so when we're adding and subtracting, the denominators need to be the same. So we can do that if we just write this, add and subtracting fractions. We can do that by going through a kiss-kiss method. Okay, so for example, I've got 1/10 add 3/5. So by the kiss-kiss method, what I mean is that if we multiply the bottoms, looks like a kiss, okay, that will then give us a common denominator. So 10 multiplied by 5 is 50. Oh, get the right number, 50. And add another fraction over 50. Now, because this fraction as a denominator has gone to 50, and that's got this 10's got 5 times bigger, I now want the 1 to get 5 times bigger, the numerator as well. So I've then got the 5 multiplied by 1 gives me 5. And over on this side, to get from 5 to 50, I've got 10 times bigger. So because I've multiplied the bottom by 10, I'm multiplying the top by 10 as well. And again, there's the other kiss, effectively the big kiss. 10 multiplied by 3 is 30. Now what I can do is I can add these two things together. So I've got denominator stays the same. And I've got 5 add 30 is 35. And then now I can simplify it. So a number that ends in a 0 and a 5 can both be divided by 5. So I've got divide by 5 to simplify it. So 5's into 35 goes 7 whole times. And then 5's into 50 goes 10 whole times. And I've got my final answer. Okay, so for the second one, we've got subtraction. Okay, so subtraction of a fraction is exactly the same method as what we've done. So we've got 2/3 subtract 1/4. Okay, so we've got 2/3 subtract 1/4. So again, the first thing is multiply your denominators together to get a common denominator. So 3 multiplied by 4 is 12. Subtraction sign, and then again 12. Again, this side needs to get 4 times bigger. The 2 multiplied by 4 is 8. This side needs to get 3 times bigger. And now we've got 3 multiplied by 1 is 3. And now we've got our subtraction. Again, the denominators will just stay the same because we're talking about 12ths. 8 subtract 3. So I've got 8, 7, 6, 5. I've got 5 12ths. I'll look to simplify it. Okay, the factors of 5 is 1 and 5. And the factors of 12 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. So the only common factor that they've got is 1. So that's now simplified. Okay, so that's adding and subtracting fractions. Next one then, if we look down, is multiplying. So have a look at these couple of multiplying. The phrase that we've looked at multiple times in lessons with multiplying fractions is that slogan for night, which is just do it. Okay, and by what I mean by just do it is we always do top multiplied by top over bottom multiplied by bottom. Or if we wanted to be more mathematically vocabularied, it would be numerator multiplied by numerator, denominator multiplied by denominator. So when we've got the fraction 3/4 multiplied by 5/6, the first thing we need to do then is 3 multiplied by 5 is 15. 4 multiplied by 6 gives me 24. And then I'd look to then simplify that as well. So common factors, we've got 3 goes into both of those numbers. So I'm going to divide both by 3. So I've got 15 divided by 3 is 5. And then 24 divided by 3 is 8. And then I've got my simplified. Okay, if we look at on the opposite side, we have got 8b, where we've got mixed number fractions. Okay, again, multiplying fractions is going to stay the same, but this time we've got a difference where we've got the mixed number part. So let me just write the question down first, and I'll give us a bit of space. Multiplied by 1/2. Right. So the first thing we need to do with this mixed number thing is I would make these into improper fractions, so top-heavy fractions. So in 1/1, effectively what I've got here in a picture would be 4/4, and I've got another 3/4 there. So in total, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I've got 7/4. The other way of looking at it is you go 1 multiplied by 4 is 4. Add the extra 3 is 7. So for example, on this one, we've got 1 multiplied by 2 is 2. Add 1 is 3. So we've got 3/2. And again, if I draw it, 1/1 would be a whole one split into halves plus another half. So I've got 1, 2, 3 halves. Now that I've converted that into improper fractions again, numerator times numerator, top times top, bottom times bottom. So 7 multiplied by 3 is 21. And then I've got 4 multiplied by 2 is 8. And I've got an improper fraction. Again, I'm going to now convert it and simplify it, but this time I'm going to go back to a mixed number rather than an improper. So I'm going to then look at my 8 times table. I've got 8, 16, 24. Right, I've only got 21 parts, so 24 is too big. So I know that I can go into 21 2 whole times. So I've then got 2 whole times. That's got me to 16. So I've then got 21 subtract 16, leaves me then with 5 left over. So I've then got 5 left over out of 8 parts. And then I've got that then as my mixed numbers multiplied together, and I've then got it as a simplified answer. Okay, the last one then is division. And if we look at 6b, it's asking us to simplify, and we've also got, it might well be that we need to go into a mixed number again. So with division of fractions, so we've got division of fractions. We've been talking about in this one, let me just write the question down. Yep, so on this question then we were talking about our mate Kith to help us out. So we've got keep, inverse, and then flip. So we're going to keep this fraction exactly the same. We're going to inverse the operation. So division becomes multiplication, and then flip means we're going to turn the fraction on its head. So we've got now the 8 goes to the top, and then the 3 goes to the bottom. Now we just follow the same steps as what we've just done, which is top multiplied by top. So 3 multiplied by 8 is 24 over 5 multiplied by 3 is 15. And then I've got my fraction. And as we can see here again, this is an improper fraction because it's top heavy. So now what we need to look at is then how many 15s go into 24. So if we look at the 15 times table, 15, 30, right? So 30 is too big. So I've got 1 whole time, which gets me to 15. And then 24 subtract the 15 that I've used leaves me with 9. So I've got 9 over 15 left. Okay. This one now can simplify even further. The 1 whole one stays the same. but the fractional part has a common factor. So what goes into 9 and 15 is 3. So if I divide both parts by 3, 9 divided by 3 is 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So I've then got a simplified answer as well. So for division, keep, inverse, flip, multiply it together, and then do any simplifying after that. Okay, good stuff. Done.